Welcome to the Out There channel, live stream 405. I thought Twitch had a new feature then. How's everybody out there? I said I wasn't going to do one today, but I've decided I will.
I'm finding love, I'm hiding, I'm searching, I'm loving, I'm finding love.
Dark side. Let fate control your body. In the beginning, there was written.
Come follow me, yeah. It's love, hiding, I'm searching, I'm loving, I'm finding love.
What was that? Hello. Hello. Good to be back. Sing along. Good to be back. Are we in sync? We got problems, I think. Let me just reset that. I think it might be alright though. Just restart it though. Okay, we're back. Is the alien in sync? I think it might be. Alright. I didn't reboot, I took a chance. There's all sorts of crap running in the background. My system's complex. I got some high-end music software and stuff like that running. And I'm running out of space on the hard drives. Okay, I better type up the thing. See if anyone else is going to pop around. This will probably be a 2-hour show, hopefully. That's probably all I got. Carlos Diaz 405. Is that what was it? 406. Seems to be running through a lot lately. 406. Did I say 5 at the intro? 5 was yesterday. Okay, Carlos. Now that's why I need a break from the stuff, you know. Gets a bit too much after a while. I got a sticky thing on my finger that needs to be pulled off. Carlos DS Lightships. I have to zoom in to read it properly on the other screen, so I'll probably mess up the first one. You'll see half the first screen. Cameron Diaz Lightships contactee. Breakdown by pool. And see if you agree with me. Okay. Looks like many not going to join us again. Unfortunate. But on with the show. Now, Carlos Diaz. You probably run across him. Just simply doing research. And you probably have to put UFO in, because that's going to be a pretty common name, I'd say, from South America. Well, Mexico, isn't it? Mexican, I think he is. I better move my mic closer. Ships of light. Guess what comes up first of all? Amazon. Same link as what I got here. And when I see something like this, that gives me aha. Look how much it's selling for. 25 US dollars. And that's quite a lot of money for DVD still. And I wonder how much of that he gets. Okay. Notice they put him as an actor. John Mack there. And one more, it says. And you can see the only 13 have bought it, maybe. And you can see it varies up and down. And you're going to get the Tyler fans closer to the top here. And you're going to get more of the skeptics down the bottom, obviously. And of course you're going to get a lot of the fake reviews as well. So how many of these are verified? Top reviews. So does it tell us if it's verified? Verified. So there you see. Okay. So I don't know if they've got critical thinking or not. I was always skeptical of this case when I first saw it, even before I started getting into video analysis for UFO stuff and applying my talents to it. But this is a red flag for me straight away, that these people are making money from it. Alright, if you want to be credible, if you want to put it out on DVD, say that your share goes to charity only, maybe. I don't think that says that on that video. I don't remember ever seeing that all his earnings go to charity. So let's see. I think I read somewhere the average DVD sale for UFOs worldwide is about 300,000. So let's type that figure in there. $300,000 times $25 equals what's that? $7.5 million. When did that come out? What year did that come out? Because that makes a difference too. Because inflation, right? 1980s, I think, was it? But I'm not sure. Special edition. Where's the dates? Release date. And when was the reviews done? 2010. So that probably gives us a good indication. 2010 onwards, was it? Or did I misread it? Pretty new ones though. 2010? Yeah, first one. Okay. So I posted a review in which I described my experience with 3 ships of light. Mistakenly did not check yes for a question. Eh? So is that Carlos with a fake account? Is that what it's talking about there? So for the authentic kid review, I want to clarify. Eh? It doesn't make any sense. Also forgot to mention that I didn't record footage of my sighting, but it was a bit low quality, like all UFO footage, right? I don't know, it seems almost like a fake review there to me. Yeah, so 2010. Let's see. Let's find out how much $1 million. What was 1 million US dollars worth back in 2010? Okay, inflation. Does it tell us the straight answer? So it's bought 18% more back then. Well, it's 80% of what it was worth. So we've got to add on, let's say 20% would be reasonable, because we're not too sure on the date. So times 1. Where's 1? What is 1, is it? Hang on, what's that? Yeah, it's brackets. Where's 1? 1.2. That's 120%. So it's equivalent to 9 million today. Now, how much of that money does the publisher get? The actors. There's 3 actors in it. John Mack. Well, you can say Carlos gets the bulk of it, right? So half 9 million. I'd say Emerson probably gets 30%. So you've got to then subtract 30% of it. Minus 30% is 3 million. Oh, that makes it 6 million. So they've got 6 million in 10 years to live off. I think they should go and pay a visit and see how he's spending that millions of dollars. South America, it's got to be worth a lot more money. What does... Let's say he got $2 million profit out of the 6 million, so, which is probably on the low side, but let's say, what does 2 million USD dollars buy in Mexico? I think he is. So I'll just do a check in a minute. Mexico. I suppose that buys a lot of drugs. Buys that many pesos. Okay, so maybe we could calculate that in 2 million US dollars to Mexico. Okay, so I think that probably buys a lot of property, doesn't it? get you, well, land. Land, by in Mexico. I don't know. See what comes up with that. It's probably a bit harder to research that. Let's see. What's the most expensive mansion in Mexico? Let's see what comes up. Here we go. So you could bloody buy that. Looks pretty nice. What's it worth though? Don't tell us. Up for sale. So if he's living like that, he's doing pretty good. Yeah, look at that, you know. That's the way to live, guys. That's how the drug dealers do, isn't it? Wasn't there another drug dealer called Carlos Diaz or something? Look. Home gym. But I didn't see the cost of it. Alright, here we go. What did it say there? For sale at a cool 25 million. Million what? Pesos? In that case, that's how much he had. Fully furnished. Or do they mean 25 million US there? But anyway, yeah. So let's see if we got some images of him. Let's have a quick look. So these are the photographs, or photographs from frames of so-called lightships. I always thought they were lampshades to me, like you get with the paper lampshades with Chinese. And I have read other people thought the same. And I find it interesting that no one else has witnessed this. I think his wife didn't even know. He was married, wasn't he? His wife never even noticed. So there he is. He's tried to do one behind a tree here. Now we had the similar thing with Gulf Breeze guy, Ed Walters, right? But he was doing it with a Polaroid, which makes it a wee bit more tricky. Doesn't mean it couldn't be faked, but it makes it a bit more tricky. Now I don't think he was using Polaroid. Now I'm not sure if any of his videos actually see a person behind things. Do we? See there, maybe. I don't know. Was that the top of trees? No, that's probably the shading. You see, it's always above. But we'll go have a look what UFO Proof has put up as videos, and we'll break it down using his. See, there's another one of the light being, right? Photograph of Ed Walters. A laser beam. Same sort of trick, maybe. Okay, so it's probably going to be a lot of videos up on the web on this guy. But we'll look for more if we need to. Video archive, there you go. 1 hour. So, yeah, we could have a look if we need to. We'll leave it there for the time being. So yeah, suspicious about all that on Amazon there. There's no picture of him. I didn't fake him. He reminds me of that serial killer. What was his name? He was also Mexican, wasn't he? He looks very similar to him. What'd they call him? Night Stalker? Yeah, Night Stalker, I think it was. He killed a lot of people, that guy. So that one seemed phony, but we'll just come back to what other people have to say last of all. And we'll just keep a clean slate of what I thought when I looked at. So we'll start off with UFO proof here. And break it down. Because he believes in it, by the sounds of it. So let's go. How's the volume? Checking out.
So here we have Carlos Diaz, a young man from Tepoztlan, Mexico, who claims to be in contact with extraterrestrials or beings of light. And what's so interesting about his case is his evidence. His photos are some of the most high quality.
His audio is munted. It's all on one channel, mostly.
Up close photos and videos of UFOs.
I think he's using a stereo mic and he doesn't realize it.
That's ever been taken. So close, in fact, that a lot of people think they're hoaxes. And there's a big debate between...
Yep. Okay. So that one we saw. Was that meant to be a tree there? And a tree there? Okay. Now you notice how the sky here is always black, but we'll just keep on going.
Between the supporters and the detractors of the Carlos Diaz case. But what's even more interesting than these photos are the videos that Carlos Diaz has taken. The videos are just the best you could possibly get. Some of the best you could possibly imagine. So good that you're probably going to think they're fake. That's what I thought at first. But let's take a look and try to analyze some of his videos. So let's start with this UFO video. It appears to be shining a laser down to the ground. This was the first one that stuck out to me as, oh, this is probably fake because this is too good to be true. But the more we analyze it, the more we see that there's something not quite right with it, as in it's not so easy to debunk as everyone thinks it is. So let's start with the laser. Now I do have a pause on freeze frames here for a couple seconds so we can kind of go over the details of it. What's interesting to note is if you look, the laser is starting from the ground to the craft, which if this was fake, it would be coming from the craft down to the ground. Now that's what you would think, but I mean, look at this. It comes from like a bolt of lightning coming from the ground to the craft, and the fact that it hasn't reached the craft yet. It's almost going slower than light speed, which is really interesting. And the fact that at the bottom of the laser is wider than the top of the laser. When the part that's coming from the craft is smaller, and as it gets down, it expands. That's how it should. But the brightness is starting from the bottom.
Okay, that's not
necessarily true. So how is that possible? I mean, with the way our physics work and our understanding of light and energy, that shouldn't be. It should be the complete opposite. But I suppose with an extraterrestrial craft, something like that is possible.
Bull crap. So, simple answer to his wrongful answer there, that, how the beam sort of turns into a cone shape, right? Don't know if I bring up the editor. So let's apply some real science to this. Give me a cone head. Cone. Where's a good one? Yeah. It's around the wrong way though. Okay, so as you know, when you got a torch, this end, it always makes a wider bling. Not necessarily. That's wrong. That can be wrong. We're used to seeing it that way because the way the lens is designed to reflect the light outwards, right? So the lens is, let's see if I can draw it. There's so much to do a thing on it. So the lens and the torch is like that, right? And the bulb's in the middle. So you got light bouncing from there all over the place. Can't quite see what's going on there. Should be yellow. Try that again. Yellow. And of course that all reflects back and goes all over the place, right? And that's what you call a concave lens. And of course the light then goes forward. But it forms the cone shape, right? So eventually light goes there as well, right? So there's your cone shape happening. And that's why the beam gets wider. But there is something you can add in front of a torch, right? Okay, let's go back again. Oh, too much. Actually, maybe not. We'll just draw the concave thing again. Oh, need black. That's not black. I suppose I stuffed up, have I? Okay, so there's a torch there. But you can put filters on front of torches, right? Let's see, how am I going to draw it? You've heard of magnifying glasses, right? So this is where you use not a concave, but a convex, double convex lens, right? Basic Science 101, 101. How can we do? We have to do a circle, I suppose. Okay, so you got a convex lens in front, and you can also have a what? Iris. Remember, we were talking about that before. With Mick West stuff, right? In front of that, you can have an iris as well. Or that could be in front of it. And as you know, iris can make a pinhole, you know, pinhole light. But the essentialness of it all is what I'm trying to get to. I'm not too sure how it fixes together lenses because I haven't actually researched it, but I'm pretty sure what you can do, because I'm pretty sure I've got a torch that does this. If I had another camera set up, probably could show you, but I'm pretty sure Mick West might have something up on his channel. Allows you to, how come I've lost my colour? Why is it not working now? Okay. Where you can actually focus the beam of light into a beam using iris thing that you turn on the front, and focusing the light opposite to a magnifying glass, right? Well, is it opposite? Normally you move this right closer to the source of light, and it makes the beam go inwards like that. So I guess it the light probably, let's see, it bounces around, and by changing the angle of this here through maybe a iris of some kind to make it a bit more brighter, eventually you can bend it into a beam that goes that way. Focus torch. I wonder if there's a diagram. Someone's already worked it all out, the angles. So I reckon this is just like a pocket torch with a magnifying glass which puts into a focal. So straight away UFO proof is misleading people there. He's meant to be the so-called clever debunker, right? But he's actually a fraud. He's working with the frauds. Although I haven't seen him on their show lately, so I think maybe they had a falling out. Maybe they didn't like his criminal record of 2 felons for stolen goods and beating up a guy in a trailer park, and he got caught when he was younger, 19. Well, I wouldn't call that really young. I'd call that adult. But anyway, not just beating up the trailer park guy, but actually using pipes and chains, right? This is sort of stuff you see in biker movies. I'm going to do some background checks on him anyway. You know, when you look at someone with neck tattoos, you always got to wonder, have they been in prison? Because generally that's what they get, right? Inside tats. Let's see. I was going to look up. We're focusing. Light with magnifying glass. He would have known that. Everybody played around with magnifying glasses, right? They used to put it into a beam and then catch things on fire. Oh, I forgot glass. Diagrams. Okay. There's your light source, and there's the convex thing. And you make it from the sun, all the light around, and you condense it down to a fine beam that catches things on fire. Right, so that's how you can create a laser beam. And if you do it with actually a laser pointer with a magnifying glass, you're going to get a nice condensed laser beam, right? There's some examples there. How do lenses, and that's where the light is scattered. So as it moves, what is it, further out? No, further in. Because let's just remember, I haven't mucked around with a magnifying glass for a long time. Let's see, is there another one here? See, even your eye does it. Focal points, focal length. So what normally happens is you get that, right? If you ain't got it at the focal point of the glass. So it's just a matter of getting the right focal length for the laser to get it the right distance away. And then it starts scattering again. It starts going in the opposite direction. Obviously, there's going to be some mathematics to it. Wrong. What's that mean, wrong? Let's have a look at that one. Anyway, I don't want to spend too much time on this, but you know what I mean. And like our eyes, everything's upside down. Our brain flips it around. So when it comes into our eyes like this on a lens, and our eye is always upside down, same as the camera, and then it's inverted. Right. Light's very interesting stuff. Okay, so let's move on. So a torch, a laser torch with a adjustable front, and we can make it into a beam that tapers into itself. Normally it would hit there and then it'll start splitting apart again and start to scatter. But because it's hitting this object, now why would it be coming from the ground upwards? You could say, well, maybe he's firing a laser beam at the craft. So you could make lots of excuses up for it. But he's not saying that in the video though. He's not there clicking. You can normally hear a click sound and stuff like that, right? I'm just going to communicate with this and shine a laser at it. But we do know lightning can go from the ground upwards as well. So let's not totally write it off, but lightning... That's why I'm giving you my breakdown, my honest opinion on things. And we'll look at the overall results and decide whether it's a hoax or not. Just follow the evidence, right? Follow the science. Follow the facts. Lightning from ground. Have you got anything? Does lightning come from the sky or ground? It can be from both. That part you can see comes from the ground. I was hoping to see upward lightning. Here we go. Let's have a quick look. Hopefully we don't get done for copyright, because it is part of educational as far as I'm concerned. And so Tesla knew this. He had created the Tesla coils, and they always put backwards going upwards, right? I think that's what they've done here. Oh no, it's actually outside. Okay, they're not simulating it. Let's have a look. Boom, there you go.
Yes! Oh my god! Oh my god!
That's amazing.
Oh my god!
Now they say that lightning and sparks and all that stuff that goes out into space is needed to renew our shield, the protection around the Earth from the solar wind. Kind of makes sense that it would ionize particles and form ozone and all that sort of stuff, because we know that you can create ozone with Tesla coils and those indoor ozone generators. Let's see. Hits the ground. What happens when lightning strikes the ground? Okay, we don't spend too much time on it. I just wanted to see the science of it. Whether there's any diagrams, positive and negative charges. Maybe there is. So you can see that's obviously going upwards. Because imagine trying to split lightning 4 different ways, coming downwards, right? It makes sense that it would split apart going upwards. We haven't got any diagrams explaining it. Oh, maybe we have. Let's have a look. Lightning explained, but that's the regular lightning coming down. And between clouds, right? Negative and positive charges. Here we got ground ones. That one looks like it's going upwards from the tower. What's this one? Ground to cloud. Here we go. So it has to be a certain height. Negatively and positively charged. What's that say? Droplets. Okay, so we know water is normally a insulator if it's pure. If it's got dirt and stuff in it, but it becomes a conductor. And a lot of people don't realise that. So, is it pure water in the sky? No, that's why we're getting positive and negative ions. And the ground is negatively charged because you see the clouds have a layer of positive on the outside. And so it's attracted to the ground, so the ground has to be negative. That's why we talk about grounding, ground in the house or grounding yourself to the negative ground. So there you go. So yeah, if it gets the other way, if it gets low down, it can go from the ground upwards. Interesting there. I think that's what we wanted to see. Don't think there's any other explanations there. So, science lesson today. Yeah, sorry, Area 51, I was sort of getting into teacher mode. How's it going? It technically goes up first, but then becomes live, maybe, going back down, and that's what's seen illuminated. Don't think so. Damn predictive text. I'm not seeing it in this footage. It looks like it starts at the bottom, goes up. I don't think it then comes back down.
You can see the brightness starts from the bottom of the laser and works its way up to the top. And it starts at the bottom up to the top. But the point where the laser starts to expand is going from the craft down to the ground. It's like the complete opposite of what you would expect a laser beam to do. Especially because this was taken back in the early 90s, which I don't even think people had lasers back then. Now, what's good about this piece of footage that was taken back in 1993
but that doesn't rule out a torch, right? Doesn't rule out a torch, and he could easily make a really bright version of the torch, like using gases, burning gases, like a welder's torch. Which is maybe what he's done here. He may be using some sort of burning flame, because I'm pretty sure some of the videos I saw, it looked like it was like shimmering, like it was a flame rather than a solid thing. But we'll see if we get some stuff in his footage, and it might explain why it fooled a lot of the scientists that analysed the light density, because it may not be just like a regular light bulb, right? He's using some other technique to light it up enough to be far and away enough from the camera at low light, because back in those days, that the camera footage was pretty damn bad with overexposure, right? So that's another thing. I would have expected some light exposure where it's sort of just a blob of light like you take with your smartphone at night time, right? So there are a lot of red flags for me in this stuff. It is too good to be true, and a lot of it's black silhouette around it. Why is it not lighting up the tree and seeing it like a green tree, right? It almost looks like a cutout, cookie cutter effect. Miniature tree. Maybe he's built a model and has painted it black, that sort of thing. What was else I was going to look at? Oh, we'll keep on going.
Actually has some objects in the foreground, something in front of the UFO that allows us to actually measure it. And so the investigator here, Michael Hisseman, was like, well, if this is real, take me to the spot. And so Carlos did. He took him to the exact spot with the exact tree that he filmed this in front of. And what he's saying here is that at first the UFO was over his head, and then it flew over to behind the tree. And so Carlos got in position to where he could have the tree in front of the craft, and so he could see it in the foreground of it. And you had something to compare it to. And then as they went and took the video and
Okay, so it doesn't rule out it being like superimposed, right? So you take a picture during the day. You can see how white the background is there. That would be perfect for masking. 2010 90s. Where did Photoshop come out? I think it was back then. When did Photoshop appear or market? 89 or something like that. Yeah, what does it say? 25 years in the making. So what's that put at 95? Oh, here we go. Released in 1990. There you go. Now, when was that footage filmed? Did UFO Proof just say in the 90s? So it says within that ballpark. But obviously there's other ways to do it. Camera tricks. So we're going to look into that. You're still going on about the lightning. Negative, what's that? Negative electron particles travel upwards and they become charged and come back down alive. So true, it comes from above, but when you get deeper into the physics, they say from below. Well, electrons you can't see flowing from the ground upwards, so I would say that would be true, particles. But when the electron emits a photon of light, then you start to see the effect of that. So it's possible, yes. But I don't want to get too deep into the science of lightning strikes. I'm just saying it's possible that a lightning strike can go from the ground upwards. I don't think that was a lightning strike, but some people might say it's like lightning, so that's why I brought it up. That's about to turn into another 5-hour show, right? We're already 40 minutes into it, 48 minutes. What was I going to do? I forgot now. What was I going to look up? Faking trees. So we know there's another person that did a lot of this, even before the 1990s, and his name was Billy Meyer. And like this guy, Billy Meyer has his supporters, namely Michael Horn. But yeah, you can clearly see his as models and on strings. But these ones are not all on strings, and I'll go back over it if I get time. I think they're on possibly a piece of wire, because if they're made from paper and they're using like a flame arc from a welder, they might be fairly big models actually, so they don't catch fire. Is it possible that even some of them were balloons made from sort of some paper mache, so they sort of floated up above the tree? So he may have done that. Could he have done it alone? Possibly. We know people do fire lanterns, right? Is it possible to make a big one? These people are clever, you know. Maybe he had helpers, especially if he's making millions of dollars from selling DVD, because he's obviously done TV appearances. Vacant tree in front of UFO. Let's see what comes up. Probably Billy Meyer, probably. Let's see. Probably won't be able to find anything, but I have come across articles how to fake things. There was miniatures and double exposure. You see that one's not behind the trees. Yeah, I don't think we're going to find it. It's going to take too long. But yeah, let's just go back to this one again. So obviously it was on a video. So what if we can find that video? UFO flying behind tree. If it's just a photograph, it's more suspicious, and video archive, let's come up with that one again. Ships of Lights, and that's that DVD. Looks like someone's uploaded it to YouTube. I suppose people stopped buying it, you know. Let's see. Let's try the archive one. Gotta be careful of copyright though. Okay, it looks like it might be this 2-hour documentary, is it? Or most of it.
Car. It was difficult for me to find it, since there was no path down from the slope. Eventually, I got into my car and...
Okay. Be good to get the tree one, because that's the one we want to focus on.
La luz. ¿Cuánto tiempo lleva, Víctor?
Okay, what's he up to
Ya
here?
subió. Pero esta luz lleva ahí ya más de 2 horas y voy a abrir el zoom.
I thought he was zooming in on one.
Mis alumnos tuvieron una experiencia.
It caused a panic in one of the camps. They did not...
Sometimes wakes him up at night.
Y sé que voy a tener un encuentro con ellos.
Because he knows he's going to have an encounter with them.
So where's the other people seeing the same
Lo que me
thing?
agrada de esta experiencia.
See, that's another red flag. Where's all the
What
other
he
people
likes
that he's
about
been
the
with?
experience he has had.
Es que la comunicación que ha habido
When you
con
wake
ellos
up, someone say, look, have a look, you can be my witness.
es como la comunicación que estamos
Come and
teniendo
stay a
tú y yo
night,
en-
you know, stay a month with me.
Just as we are
Help me
now.
document this, right?
Es una puramente física.
You know, gotta be careful of copyright nonsense, don't we? Not that I'm worried too much about it. So it's always very dark scene, right?
Mira, están saliendo varias. Están meneando. Aquí está.
So it doesn't look like the same light ship to me. It looks very white there rather than orange.
Ya se apagó.
So, maybe someone releasing Chinese lanterns off in the distance for him to film, knowing it's going to happen. Maybe he's got a partner in crime.
No. No, mira, están.
Talking about
Okay, what are we going to get here? You notice how dark it is again? It's always the right type of light, and where's the full moon, you know? Where's the stars, you know? Where's the light camera? Now, if you went to the TV networks, they would have supplied them all the best cameras at the time. In 1990, I think there was low light cameras. I think that's where Mojo got his, about 1990. Low light handycam. Yeah, released. did I mistype it? Lof. Light. Come on, Google. Mind you, I think it's substituted, didn't it? Oh no, put right in. Handycam, year released. Yeah. Oh no, we're getting porn. There. Google. We're getting porn. Low lights. Handycam. I wonder why porn come up with that one. There we go. Sony Handycam DCR. Let's see what year it came out though. 1998. So maybe it was a wee bit before his before all that come out. But why aren't the ships returning now is the question as well. That's kind of a red flag. Now we got Sony low light sensors. He could take even better snaps, and it certainly would be overexposed, because you saw when Blake Cousins filmed that search and rescue off the coast there, claiming it was undersea UFO, when it was actually a helicopter search light and one or two boats on the water, divers with lights on, stuff like that, right? You can see how overexposed it was. Predictive search, yeah. Porn, low light. At least we didn't get any images popping up, which is possible. But, yeah. So I think 1998 sounds about right. I thought maybe it came out sooner. Handycam. I suppose we could type in what was that? Sony low light Handycam specs. Let's come up with some other brands here, or other models I should say, but I think SX60 sounds about right. SX60. Here we go. No, that sounds too good. 16 megapixels. That sounds like a modern camera. Northern Lights 2017. I think it's 98 anyway. Well, maybe someone else can confirm that.
Researcher who came to Tepoztlan to look into the case.
You can see the quality of the video here, right? How out of focus it is, and yet those ships look too in focus, you know what I mean? Like he's had time to set it up.
And witnessed the object by himself. The world-famous Hollywood actress heard of the case and decided to go to Tepoztlan to meet Carlos Diaz.
Okay.
Lands to get to his. So he said all of a sudden, daylight, like daylight. And he said something, ¿verdad? Dijo que se le apareció una luz en el cielo.
I don't know if John Mack actually believed this guy or not.
Disc round.
En lugar de donde salió, y ahí la luz subió así. Lands to get to his. So he said all of a sudden.
See, he's not doing the talking like he has done in past videos where he's asking the questions and watching their response.
Edward Lawrence and
There he is there, but we're not hearing what they're saying.
The academic world with his open-minded approach to the alien abduction phenomenon.
Experience from the beginning.
Perfecto. La sensación a esta altura del plexo.
Look how he's studying his face.
I have a sensation in my solar plexus.
De amor.
I have this feeling of love. In
We
my
can't
solar
see the
plexus.
eyes and stuff. We can't
It
do
wakes
body
me up
language
in
on
the
it
middle
ourselves
or
because it's really
whatever.
bad.
And he had to cross some other land.
Yeah, I don't think John believed that. It's got a little smirk on his face here, like, oh yeah, I think he's having us on. What else we got? Latest sightings. And this is documentary part 2. Part 1. So that makes it 2 hours. Yeah, okay. More than 2 hours, actually. So we never found what we were after. We wanted the one with the UFO passing in front. We want the one with the laser beam, one of the, the key ones that really you can pull apart and find flaws in them. It's not too much there apart from the main documentary, right? Which is a bit unfortunate. I don't know if there's any... There's the tree, is it? It's not really passing behind there, is it? There it is there. It's right on the edge. Why is it always on the edge? You know what I mean? Why is it not half covered? Where's the half covered shot? I never saw any. And that's it, That's all we got. Images with the tree, UFO and his name. Flying tree. Let's say tree. UFO tree. Okay, let's narrows it down a wee bit more, maybe. And we got that one. And this one here, which is kind of strange looking. The laser beam one. I don't think that's covered by a tree there, is it? And this one here is unusual. Now that looks like overexposed, doesn't it? And that almost looks like a double exposure to me. I just got this one where it's clipping the edge of the tree. Now let's go back to the video. We can't seem to find the damn video, can we?
Of the laser and works its way up to the top. And it starts at the bottom up to the top. But the point where the laser starts to expand is going from the craft down to the ground. It's like the complete opposite of what you would expect a laser beam to do. Especially because this was taken back in the early 90s, which I don't even think people had lasers back then. Now what's good about this piece of footage...
Okay, what's that say down there? Yeah, as soon as I pause it, I can't read. What does it say there? 93? So that's way after Photoshop. Is it the same tree?
Back in 1993 is
some wobbling there, wasn't there?
That it actually has some object.
But is the craft wobbling with the tree?
in the foreground, something in front.
You notice the craft has a lot of shimmer as well as the tree
of the UFO. That
So how come our search doesn't give us that frame where we can overlay it in the editor? So
of the UFO. That
are they the same tree?
Measure it. And so the investigator here, Michael Hisseman, was like, well, if this is real, take me to the spot. And so Carlos did. He took him to the exact spot with the exact tree that he filmed this in front of. And what he's saying here is that at first the UFO was over his head, and then it flew over to behind the tree. And so Carlos got in position to where he could have the tree in front of the craft, and so he could see it in the foreground of it. And you had something to compare it to. And then as they went and took the video and did a false color analysis, you could see, you could make out that the shape of the tree, the bush that's in front of the tree, everything to deduce that this is actually where this video was taken, was at that part. So unless he had a giant fake craft behind that tree, this is a legitimate video. This is actually a UFO video. This is a real UFO. So it's probably that all his pictures are probably all real of UFOs. He probably is in contact with these beings, like, or so he says. Because
to me, that is not the same tree.
They can go and find where this tree is and where it matched up, and then they went and measured the distance, the zoom length on the cameras. They took the exact same camera that Carlos used. And that's another thing that you got to understand something. Carlos was a very poor man and didn't even have a video camera at the time. He went to Jaime Maussan and explained to him that he was having contact.
Ah, red flag, Jaime Maussan. The hoaxer from South America, big one.
With UFOs, and he was able to get some pictures, but he doesn't have a camera.
Well, certainly a fraud anyway. Fraud, he's a hoaxer promoter.
He actually had to ask Jaime Maussan to lend him a video.
Okay, so how hard would it be to make a miniature tree that looks very similar to that one in the distance, right?
Camera, so he could take these videos. Because otherwise he just didn't have, he doesn't have the money. So it's not like, you know, he could afford to go and make some big special effects or something like that. He didn't even have a video camera. So Michael Hisseman actually took a team of investigators out to the site.
It's not the same tree.
Did some measurements and deduced that the craft.
See, there's that bit. It's not the same tree, is it? I don't even have to overlay it to see that. See, the goes out from a branch here, right? Goes to a little like a head. I don't see that anywhere on that tree there. You could cut it so it's similar, but I'm not seeing a exact match there. You can make the similar hole down here. A little gap up here could be that there, I guess. It's not the same.
Had to be at least 30 meters across. So this was a big craft. This thing
so that's misdirection, I think.
was no joke.
See, it sort of merges together there, the two images, but
and
they're not the same.
The craft had to be at least 30 meters across.
Yes,
So this was a big craft. This thing was.
So they put it on there so it's far away so you can't see the details.
It was no joke.
And now it's got the hole coming in.
You know, and you can...
It's not the same, is it? So the hole in that was there. But if you go back to the original, see the hole. It's there. It's not the same. Not the same.
Investigators out to this video was taken, was at that part. So unless he had a giant fake front of the tree, all his pictures are probably all real of UFOs. He probably is in contact with these beings, like, or so he says. The shape of the tree, the bush that's in front of the tree.
It's too holy.
Everything
you see what I mean?
To deduce that this is actually where
like
this video was taken, was at that part. So unless he had a giant fake craft behind that tree, this is a legitimate video. This is actually a UFO video. This is a real UFO. So it's probably that all his pictures are probably all real of UFOs. He probably...
So another red flag for me there is that if that's the video, why is the ship not moving left and right? Why is it always sort of wobbling around up and down a wee bit? And the tree has obviously got wind. If you look at the tree, it's wobbling left and right. Is in
contact with these beings, like, or so he says.
Actually, the tree looks like it's going up and down too, actually.
Because they can go and...
Here's the branch, right? You can see the branch coming in here. That's definitely not on that tree.
Find where this tree is.
There's the big hole, right? It's definitely not the same. Let's grab that and put it together. I call bullshit on this. Investigators can get duped as well. I don't care. That's not the same. No. My skilled eye says no. What do you reckon so far? You with me? Okay, so they did a false colour, they said, to enhance it. You can still see that limb. And here's the tree. Now, where's that damn tree? So there's the tree. And you can see here, it's got a branch going through here. There's no way that's the same tree, because we just got a clear shot of it as that sort of come down. It didn't actually go left or right, it actually was moving up and down a wee bit on that video. So let's grab that one. UFO proof, you're a fraud promoter, mate. You've been busted. It's not the same tree. It hasn't got that branch going up. I'll just put it together to show you. So we took the branch from this video here where it was lit up on another frame. And now we can bring them in. If I had the folder over here. Come on, over here. Yeah, so first one, maybe do it the other way around. Resize. Might have to move it around a bit to match up. And you can see straight away, this looks like a miniature one. It's sort of, he tried to find a tree that had a similar hole in it to show the guy. So this where's my thing disappear to? Straight away you can start to see it doesn't match up. So this is the tree of the daytime snapshot here. You can see it doesn't even remotely match. Even if we rotated around, I can't see how you'd get that to be the same. Not even remotely close, is it? Anywhere on that tree? No, there's nowhere that's remotely similar. There's the hole that they're saying it was shining through here. You can see that's a branch. He's mucking around in miniature trees here and light shades, and probably lighting these up pretty bright with a some sort of gas flame. So you with me? Looking like a fake now. So that's the image you need to put together. So we should save that one. Like that for starters. I'll use it for a thumbnail. Now I'm just following the evidence, guys. I'm not sort of prejudging it. I'm just trying to show you how I sort of pull apart things in my head, and you either agree or disagree, or see something I've missed. For all purposes, say something in the side or in the comments if you're watching it later, and say I missed this, and then we revisit it, right? Tree, day, night. Now, Jamie's got all these experts, right? But even they are not experts. Right. They say some incredible stupid things, right? I'm not sure if you watched UFOs Over Earth. I think it was episode 1, where they go down to Mexico to look at another case where the guy was filming UFOs through his skylight. And they said he faked it with buttons on the glass. And Jamie, my son's expert, said no. And I agreed with the MUFON expert, the MUFON starting experts. Might better find it online for you to watch. Let's see, daytime, nighttime, UFO. Just save that, so we got a copy. Go. Yep. And I'll just get rid of. How are we going to do this? I'll make it transparent. Can we move that around still? Oh, right. Undo. Next. Undo. There we go. Now let's make it transparent. And you can see, no matter what I try and do, there's no way we can match up that tree. No way. See, that one doesn't have a branch coming down that way. And we don't have a thing sticking out that way. We can scale it up. Can we match it now? Even less so. Not even remotely close. So I call bull crap on that one. So let's move on. Yeah, there was a series talking about Jamie, my son, Another eyewitness account, a bit like this guy, called UFOs Over Earth. A good series, a 3-parter one, worth watching. Over Earth, part 1 maybe. Prime Video, Amazon. They may have cleaned it up on YouTube because they're trying to sell it, but it's pretty old now. TV series. Probably been cleaned up. But there should be clips, you know, there should be clips up for promos and. But have a watch of what the investigator comes back with is utter garbage. It really is. Episode 1, maybe EO1. We used to be able to find it 4 years ago. I think you find that I've posted links to YouTube so people could watch it at the time when I found it. But I'm not seeing anything this time. I'll try Series 1, Episode 1. Sometimes it was low quality ones you could watch, you know, at least you could get to see some of it. But looks like it may have gone. What else can they word it? Episode 1. Copyright is a pain. Everything should be free online, as far as I'm concerned. Should be paid by ads. Especially after a certain period, like 10 years, and then it should go up. You know, there should be some compromise to this. Because this is the sort of thing that helps with learning experience. Because a lot of people may not have seen that MUFON investigation with the Stark team, which I thought was quite a good series. And it should be repeated every year, really. And it should be just available for anyone to watch. I'm pretty sure it was UFOs Over Earth. It did come up on the Netflix thing, didn't it? UFOs Over Earth, yeah, straight away. Sell. Discovery. I think the first one it was, or maybe it was the second one. What's that, the one? Oh no, second one. Mexico! That's where we wanted to go. Another hoaxer. Unfortunately, these guys may have to pay $1 to watch it now. It's a shame there's not some old copies up. Maybe someone's reworded it different so it doesn't sort of get found out. UFOs Over Earth. Watch episode 2 if you can find it. Time's flying on, isn't it? Okay. Ancient Aliens, Travel TV. Okay, so there's not too much there. Probably find it now. Maybe I'll type MUFON in. Someone must have a clip up, surely. That could be part of it there, could it? Let's type Mexico in. Let's see what comes up. And it used to be a lot easier to find than this. At least a clip anyway. Copyright. Anything to do with Discovery Channel. It's always the same. Damn shame, really. Here we go. Could be part of a clip. We may have found one. Let's see. Probably get hit up with copyright though.
An
I'll just pause and play.
estimated 10,000 UFO.
Looks like part of it. But you can't even play promos now without getting stupid copyright content ID on you.
The following is an account of one such investigation.
Yeah.
Technology and law enforcement to get as close to the truth as the truth will allow. Only their identity remains a mystery.
Go on, get on with the guy that's hoaxing. Wasn't that?
We know that there is a reality to this phenomena. What we're trying to do is show the world through a solid investigation, through a very thorough investigation, and covering all the bases, that there is something here.
Unfortunately, they only found a hoax. Okay.
Mira, se puso una lucecita rojita. Mira. Es rojo, tiene rojo arriba.
Sounds like Mexico, doesn't it?
Ay, mira.
Most people think that UFOs are a U.S. phenomena. It's not true. It happens all over the world.
Okay. But we're not going to actually see the investigation of Jamie.
There's physical evidence involved. We have to be there.
So it's well worth trying to find the whole series. It's going to be out there. Probably on one of my old episodes, actually. It's when it hasn't got flagged. Maybe it has. Maybe the video's got deleted even. Let's have a search. Might be available. I did play the bit with the Jamie Mason. I'm pretty sure I did. It was that episode that sort of nailed it for me. That Jamie Mason was open to everything and wasn't critical at all, and he tried to brush off various experts, including Mark Antonio's evidence. Brushed it off for his own experts, saying it was a real UFO. So that nailed it for me with Jamie Mason, that he was a fraud and he's trying to make money from it. UFOs over Earth. Let's see, it would be a really old episode 17, that's possible. Live stream 17. 54 again, possible. 43 possible. So it would be around about that. 65 possible. 60 possible. So all these are possible, so you'd have to look at each of them. 168, probably not. Probably below 100 anyway. Yeah. So there's a lot there to look at. I don't know if you can put it in quotes to narrow it down. Whether it's in the description is another thing as well. 65's come up. Okay, I'll just put it in quotes. Let's see if it's that one. Okay, we only got 5-6 likes on it. And a massive 73 people watched it. Now, all these people that follow me, you should be watching these older episodes because there's a lot of good stuff on them. Okay. UFOs over Earth. Is it in that one? UFOs, here we go. Talked and played a clip. So it's at position 9, which is at the end of the video. Somewhere here. Oh, this one's actually quite good. This is the one with patient 15. And Corbell. I wonder if I actually got links to the videos, because I used to do that. All links posted in the side chat. Okay, so we got videos of... Hasn't come up yet, Mojo. Which I want to talk about, but I think the strange left evidence. What have we got here? Could that be the link? I'm almost scared to play it. Open. And no, it's not that one. I haven't found the place here though. It needs bookmarks with chapters, doesn't it? Because no one's done those for me. And I haven't had time to do even the latest ones, alone old ones. It's a one-man band. One man. Should have been at the end. But I don't think that's the first one I played. Let's play clip UFOs over Earth case. Drop-in boron on tree. Okay, that's not the Mexican one though. But you guys might want to watch that one. You might find it interesting. Patient 15 magnetic plastic. But I have recovered that because this is going back in the old technology days of using Hangouts in the air, and of course it corrupts the video. Actually, was that just before they started modifying the code and it screwed it all up? But anyway, it doesn't matter. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's another clip before this one of the Mexican and Jamie Masson on it. So unfortunately we can't find it in the search, because maybe I didn't put it in the description on purpose. So let's just carry on then. We got probably half an hour left. Let's see what else he comes up with here. So the tree is debunked.
30 meters across. So this was a big craft. This thing was was no joke. You know, and you can actually do this with just a few measurements and some simple geometry to deduce what size this craft actually is. And this is that.
Okay, so even if you said that was the branch there, right? Because that's the other hole there. It's still not the same as what we were looking at before. It's totally not the same. It's got a little hole there, hole there. Definitely not even remotely close.
Field, actually taking their measurements and lining everything up, and they.
Here we go back a bit.
In the field, actually taking their measurements.
Okay, does it look like a branch going up? It sort of does, but still it doesn't match the end. That's just cool bullshit on that one.
And lining everything up. And they asked Carlos, you know, where was the exact position where you were when you were filming this craft? So he showed them right where they were at. They measured that length, the zoom length, the focal length, how the aperture works on the camera. I mean, everything. They went over everything, all the details about it. And this is the exact spot. There's even the bush that's in front of it. And you can see that when they do the false color analysis from it. But the best part about this video is when the craft starts moving. So this is what we're going to see now. And it starts going up and down in these weird kind of like jerking fashions. This is something that's described with UFO sightings all the time. In the way they move in this real weird
Not left
manner.
and right.
And actually you see the tree is being affected by the UFO, like the energy field coming off of it. But
it's
the
a
tree's not
miniature.
being lit up. How come
Miniature, and it's all wobbling the thing as he's doing it.
the ground and stuff isn't being lit up by the UFO? Well, that's because the light from the UFO appears to be...
So I think he's got this on a... You know how the laser beam place was? I reckon he's got a piece of wire goes up there, painted black, but you can't see it. And he's just moving it up and down with the tree in front, and because he's knocking it as he's doing it.
Of a laser. So the light from it actually appears to be coherent light, like a laser, instead of incandescent light where the light just spreads out everywhere like a light bulb. It's all formed together. The wavelength all matches up with each other, and it's more like a laser. That's why you're not seeing the tree be lit up by it. Now this is a different video here. In this video, the craft is actually
so it's not lit up the tree because it's a different kind of light that UFOs emit. See, there's always a opt out with UFO people. You know, or yeah, the government disinformation, they're covering it up, it actually happened, blah blah blah. Yeah, there's always an opt out. But if it formed natural physics right, and it was really a really good video, right, like it flying behind a tree and then shooting off upwards at fast speed, you wouldn't even question it, right? You say all the physics there, the tree lights up just like it should do, and all that sort of stuff. But no, UFO people have a way of twisting things. And it's not good enough. It's just not, you know, spud cam and all that sort of business.
And it looks like a little star out there in the distance, but as you zoom in, you can see that this is actually the craft. And I digitally zoomed in even more, and you can still see this is the actual craft that he was filming, just at a distance. You can even see the little bite marks that are like taken out that go around the rim of the UFO. When we zoom in right here, you can actually see it, little tiny little bite marks. This is the actual craft from a distance over his house in Tepoztlan, Mexico. Now, this next video is probably some of the best.
I wasn't terribly convinced on that. Let's see. It could easily be a kite, that, you know, with some lights. You know, you could string up a power cable quite easily for your on your kite cable, right? And just light it up from a distance and have it blown around in the wind behind trees, right? So only he can see it from his house, but no one else can. And just film it from the house with people making noise in the background and make it more legit. So I think it's possible, you know. Like I said, it still might be a fairly big lantern, you know. How big are the lanterns get in China, you know? He's probably built a few, you know. He's probably biggest Chinese lantern. Or lamp, maybe. Paper. I should probably put paper in. Let's see what they say there. 36 meters, guys. Fish shape sculpture measures 36. Okay, so let's have a look at more of this images. Now, Lantern Festival. See, it's got the same sort of glow effect, you know, through the paper. and the same sort of orange to it in this. Be funny if we found one with the little black bits on it. That would be. Oh, here we go. I've got some of the black bits on it. So that would be something I would get to do. Maybe get a Chinese person, a lantern maker, to replicate Carlos, right? That would make sense, right? And you can say, here's a side by side, and see. Oh, here's the big lantern, 36 feet, made of individual ones, is it? I was actually looking for a physical one, though. Starting to get a bit thirsty here, but I'll be wrapping up in a minute. So there's too many red flags for me to say this one's legit. Light craft that may be organic would make sense, you know, like a living being that's emitting, you know, a bit like undersea creatures that emit light, something like that. Why not? Why couldn't ships be organic? Yeah, kind of makes sense, right? But how would they hover? Well, they'd create naturally helium inside, not naturally, not anti-gravity, but in the fact that it makes its mass light. Why couldn't there be organic floating, glowing jellyfish? Makes perfect sense, you know. But how come only one person's seen these particular light ships? I'm not sure if anyone else has got any information out there of anyone else seen them, or videos with other people next to him seeing it close up, not the distant ones that we just saw. So this is a typical Chinese lantern. You can see they're as big as a human sort of thing. But we're looking more like these ones here, which can be dangled from a cable as well as on a stick, right? You can see how they do the fire dragons, right, with the sticks. They have people underneath that move the dragon around. They've got these black sticks that you don't see. Let's see, dancing dragon. I think you know what I mean. Anyway, you've probably seen it on display on various documentaries or sports events where they have people underneath moving it along. Chinese dragon light lamp. Oh, hang on. What's going on here? Yeah. I have to zoom out. Chinese dragon lamp. People underneath moving it. Let's see what comes up with that. Damn, what's happened? Lamp, I said. How did that get in there? Lamp is probably the wrong one to use, but here we got dancing thing, but it's not lit up. Dragon. Lamp, not the good thing to use. Dragon, let's try dragon. People underneath that one, but we want to see it lit up. Here we go. So they've got these black sticks. You can see it here at night time. And here it's lit up. Right, here we go. So I reckon it'll be something like that, right? And they got sparks coming out of it. Pyrotechnics, like a dragon shooting flames out of its mouth. So, is he using the same principle? I think so. Very thin wires that are very hard to see, and they're very strong. Lamp, Chinese orange lamp. Let's say 10 meters. Let's see what comes up. Are they 10 meters? What's that one say? They look like modern ones. Modern ones. We want old-fashioned ones. See, probably need to do more research on this to piece it all together, finalize it, you know what I mean. Try lantern, 10 meters size, maybe. Size 10 meters. Oh, here we go. Orange round. See, these ones we can see the wire though. These ones are a bit more interesting. But what's the size of those ones? Does it tell us? 12 inch. So that's a foot. It's not what I asked though, was it? Orange lantern man size. I'll just get rid of the size then. I think it's lantern. They're not the best ones. Damn it. Yeah, not getting what we're after. I mean, be good if we saw a picture of a man next door to some of these. Then we know size, how to gauge the size. So they've got ones here, all these different patterns on. So they got a lot of patterns on them. Why couldn't they be black bits, you know? Let's see, Chinese lantern hot air balloon. That would be another way of doing it, wouldn't it? Miniature balloon. Let's see what comes up with that. Because they make Chinese lanterns. So why not make balloon shaped ones? Now there's balloon shaped ones with pictures on. What I wasn't asked for. How about UFO shape? That might be a worthwhile typing that one in. Just bringing up Chinese lanterns. UFO sightings are usually just these. Not those, but those. I got the wrong ones. These ones. So they're not always orange. They're different colours as well. You can see how big they are. They're quite big. So wouldn't it be possible to string 3 of those together and have it above behind a tree? I suppose it's possible, but I think he's using miniatures. Well, you never know your luck when you do a search. You might something just pop up. Like we've found some interesting stuff. Oh, that one's more the shape that he's got, isn't it? See there where he's zoomed in? That kind of looks like a Chinese lantern. You can almost see the ribs. And it's not orange either, right? See, it's sort of got the brighter bit in the middle there where you'd expect the light to be. And it kind of looks like it's got a wire frame there to me, even though it's really a bit like this here, you know. What's that one there? Oh, go away. What's it doing that? It shouldn't be doing that. Damn it, I lost my place now. Scumbags. Okay, so they're zoomed in and those spots of light there. What's it look like? Looks like a Chinese lantern, you know, a fire balloon, you know. That little spot of light there, they're zoomed right in. That was the one I wanted. Alright, it's doing something different on that link there, so we can't click it. There's a round one. No, that's not it. That's got to be the Loom balloon. That looks like Google Loom. Surely. Come on, zoom out. I suppose it could be. What's that one there? All sorts of crazy stuff's happening. That kind of looks like a... That looks like a lantern hanging from a ceiling. See that there? That's something totally different. That's a light shade, right? Hanging from a ceiling. Maybe a reflection in the window. It's too good to be a reflection though. I think it's just in a dark room with taking the picture. Sneaky little devils. Okay, what's this one here? And that one does look like the Google Loom balloon though, with a spotlight shined at it, but I don't know. It could be Chinese lanterns, have the same ribs, right? What have we got here? Out of focus. Balloon. Oh, another one that's doing that. I don't know why it's doing that. That's the way the search is coming up. We've lost our place now. We'll just carry on. Just keep it in mind. So So I reckon there could be like a stick coming down this side here where he puts it behind the tree. There's some more pictures. Just looks like a Chinese lantern. It really does. But I think he's got more than one light source in it. Anyway, keep on going. Time still persisting.
Little tiny little bite marks. This is the actual craft from a distance over his house in Tepoztlan, Mexico. Now, this next video is probably some of the best you'll ever see because it's from the bottom up. He's basically laying on his back with a tripod, looking straight up at the craft, so you get to see what the entire craft looks like. You get to see real fine detail of the rim of the craft. Like he zoomed right up to it, so you can really see what the craft looks like. And what's interesting is that he believes the craft is made of plasma, but not the plasma like when you get a super hot fire, but plasma like in your cells. You know, the craft is like biological, so the same plasma that's in your blood, that's what the craft is made out of, and it's actually connected to the occupants who are flying
like
the craft.
Undersea
so
creatures.
They're like a symbiotic relationship between the pilot
but to me,
and
that
the
still
UFO
looks like
itself.
a Chinese lantern from underneath.
That's so fascinating. Now, what's really cool to see is what happens when this craft powers up. I mean, you can see it start to. There's like little flashes of light.
In this case, he's got the cable. It's dangling from a cable, and it's got the light. See how it's not as bright as the other pictures. It's not as vivid. If he's right underneath, close to it, why is it not that vivid orange color? I reckon he's obviously got several of these things. Doesn't even represent the same shape sideways. Although you could say the black bits are these bits here, where it's not lit up. But why is it not that vivid orange deep color?
Run throughout the craft that are real quick, real split-second little flashes. But then there's like a huge power-up that it does, and it just totally lights up. And this is like a real misty night, so it's kind of like looking through the mist and just zooming in and out, trying to, it basically gets the entire craft in frame. It's so cool that this craft is made from the same plasma that's in your blood as opposed to superheated fire, that it's a biological craft, and that the occupants of the craft are actually beings of light as well. They can appear human
but
and
that's
as
the
beings
story.
of light.
This
And now
mean it's true.
all the movements that you see are actually from the craft. They're not from him. Because he's got the camera on a tripod, so it's perfectly still, except for when he's zooming in and out. Now here's it. Look at it power up like that. Now there's other videos of UFOs that are similar when they're powering up. It looks just the same. It's so freaking cool that they do that. That they got these huge bursts of power that just lights up. Now what's really interesting is in Tepoztlan, Mexico, there's a church that was built in 1530, and they have these frescoes and designs that look just like the UFO that are built into the church. And there's this fresco on the ceiling where it has the same design as the UFO, and it's painted in orange and red.
They're not oval
and look at
shape.
this looks, and it shows that it's up there with the stars. So you see that object is with the stars in the sky, and it looks just like the UFO. And this was back in 1530 that this church was built. I mean, how amazing is that? It shows to me that this UFO has been seen by people from at least the 1500s.
Believes that humans built the church and made the images, and they made lanterns that look very similar.
I mean, that's exactly like it, painted in the same colors as the UFO. Now, as a side note, while Michael Hesselman and his crew was out there filming, something interesting happens. If you look, you can see this bird just straight up disappear in the middle of the frame. I don't know if anyone noticed that, but if you didn't, go back and rewind it and watch this bird just disappear in the middle of the frame.
And slow it down.
I'm going to slow it down for you so you can see. Here comes the bird. And it's just going to disappear into nothing. Watch this. Where the hell did it go? Where did that bird go? I thought that was interesting. This place, this Tepoztlan, Mexico, they got some crazy shit going on over there. 'Cause, I mean, look at this bird just straight up just disappeared into nothing. Where did it go? Next, we have some footage of a UFO that was taken over in
disappearing
England.
bird. We're assuming it was a bird. It may be something that was closest to the camera. And it's not in colour here, it's black and white.
Where did that bird go?
Is anything moving else in the picture?
This place, this Tepoztlan, Mexico, they got some crazy shit going on over there.
See, that looks too static. It looks fake. The background is not moving.
Mexico,
the clouds not moving. See how foggy that cloud back looks there?
Watch this bird just disappear in the middle of the frame.
Yeah, I call BS on that.
Slow it down for you so you can see. Here comes the bird.
Could be a bug. It could be a bug.
And it's just going to disappear into nothing. Watch this.
Okay, I saw something move down where the bird was moving. I think the bird just got too small. Still there, but
where the hell did it go?
I think it's still there. It's right there. I think you'd have to zoom in more and more. I think it just got too faded for the camera to sense it.
Where did
I actually did see some movement down here. I don't see any movement on these clouds up here though.
The bird go? I thought that was interesting. This place, this Tepoztlan, Mexico, they got some crazy shit going on.
Okay, so he finished.
He was out filming the
the
moon, just taking some video, when all of a sudden he was engulfed in pure light. And so he's basically inside the craft right now. This is the inside of that craft. He's in there with his camera running on the inside of this craft, and it's nothing but light all around him. He says it was like a warmish kind of light, and that had no floor, that he couldn't feel a floor. So he felt like he was standing on nothing, more like a cushion of air.
What do you reckon?
And he's just surrounded by a light. He felt warm. He didn't feel afraid or anything like that. But it just happened out of nowhere while he was out filming. So these guys, they don't care. They'll just come and take him whenever.
Yes.
But
looks like he's gone right up close to the lantern to me.
The next thing you know, he just, boom, the light's off, and he's inside of a cave, a giant cave in Mexico, with the UFO flashing down in a distance. And it,
which looks like a light being flicked off and on to me. See, that one looks like it's multiple light sources in there to me. And it's not as bright as the other ones were. Anyway, let's just carry on from there. Downvote that bullshit. He hasn't tried to debunk it whatsoever. He hasn't. I don't think he did a really good job of it. So let's move on. Okay, so this is some of the searches I did on the guy's name. You probably could find more out there. Royce Myers, I'm not too sure who that is. I think that's one of the debunkers, isn't it? With the big massage Murray's. Okay, so phony contactee likes to make bogus UFO videos using models and lights. Yep, I agree with that. Films so-called plasma ships that are clearly models that no 3-year-old would believe. Well, unless you're a ufologist. Did the aliens lend him all the fake photos and video to? Endorsed by David Morton. And one sure sign that it is a hoax. Endorsed by Sean. So that's another fraud, is it? He refused independent analysis of his evidence. Did he now? So who was the guy that went out there to investigate then? Diaz is Mexican version of Billy Meyer. Yep, I reckon. Here's what Scott Corrals has to say about him. Here's what I mean. Okay, and who is this David person? Doesn't ring any bells. Self-proclaimed world's foremost UFO researcher. Sounds like a goof on. 17 years. Tall tales. Yeah, that definitely sounds like a goof on. And a single bound. Actually tried to sue UFOWatchdog.com for libel and told because he couldn't prove any of his claims. Yeah, that sounds very much like those lots that we deal with. And they slander me all the time. Unfortunately, I've got proof that they slandered me. Alleges to have degrees from universities that don't exist, and that's what Goofon does too. He says he's got degrees, but he never lists them on his CV. I've proven my degrees. I've actually shown it on video. Endorses UFO hoaxes. Has lied about his association with top Hollywood names. Yeah. So he's a con man. They used the ones we get in UFO field all the time. False claims that third phase never faked a thing. Sounds just like a goof on. So what's this other one here? This other link. Okay, that one goes on a bit. I saw that one before. I've already got that one. Yeah, there you go. Let's same link. I did it independent search. There was something on here though, but just go on a bit. I think it was the second analysis. So the interview here. I asked him, who are they? My alien friends. Of course. Silly. How stupid of you to ask that. Why isn't there any movement in the image? Because I'm filming with a tripod. But you didn't have a tripod. My alien friends lent me the tripod. Okay, that's a bit red flaggy there, isn't it? That's what I call a big red flag. And that's why they've brought out that chat. It looks like he's making excuses. So if you said something like that, did you say I was just joking? What you say is I was leaning against a tree that night or something like that, perched it on a branch. Or something, you'd make up a better claim than that, wouldn't you? I'm filming this spaceship that's forming the circle. And you have a tripod there? Yes, my camera has a tripod there. Yes, my camera has a tripod because my friends lent it to me. Okay, he's repeating the same thing. Okay, what else we got here? Carlos Diaz is a pleasant fellow. Well, most UFO frauds and hoaxes are. Friendly enough, here to support the message posted by Scott Corrals. I would like to say that I have opportunity to examine, so someone managed to get a chance to look at the stuff. The footage he brought to Village Laz when he was in the company of Michael Hessed's band. So that's the guy that was analysing it with the tree, and the tree looked nothing like it. When Jim loaded the footage into the computer and we started stepping through the frames as playing at was various speeds, I noticed that the so-called plasma craft looking like a Japanese hanging lamp. Oh, I never tried Japanese. I was looking at Chinese. Maybe the Japanese are less framework in them. Descended in a jerky motion as if it was being lowered. by a rope or cable. Well, I thought maybe he had it on a piece of wire which tends to wobble, as you know. You know, like a number 8 wire fence stuff. And you could paint it out so it blends in with the dark sky. The interior illumination of this object is static, unlike the UFO illumination, and doesn't change in position or intensity. When the wind blows nearby branches, the plasma ship shakes in the wind as if it were a light object. Yes. Wind would wobble the miniature tree as well as the model, right? The so-called firing of the laser beam from the near bottom side of the object appears like a small focused flashlight. Remember, that's what I started off with. Focused flashlight beam, so you can actually narrow it down. Our conclusion also based on the fact that Carlos does video work of films, weddings, that sounds like a goof on, and celebrates his video of the plasma ship, and most likely a hoax using a small model. There you go. We all like it to be real. We all like to think, maybe ships are not mechanical but organic, and they give off their own light, because it would make sense, right? Especially if it was an interdimensional being popping from a vortex into our reality for a second, then shoot off. Be good if a whole group of people were seeing it and filming it from different angles, though. You know, make something really solid proof, and then the camera filming further away again from a house, security, and all that sort of stuff, and all in one scene. It would be just amazing. According to Carlos Diaz, the aliens are living among us for thousands of years. Yep, we've heard that claim before, but no one's actually proven it. Oops, I'm knocking my mic. I think we're probably going to have to wrap it up there, actually. So, maybe I'll post the link. Did I have that last one? Oh yeah, how's that going? That was from yesterday. Still going down? Oh yeah, it's getting closer. Crash, crash, crash. Coming up. Sidetracked on that space junk coming down. I'm waiting for it to appear on third phase of the moon as a UFO. Hey, so what else we got here? Professors. None of the photos, technical experts found any evidence of a hoax in the film. Okay, what's that from? UFO research author, film producer, investigator Carlos Diaz contact case for 7 years. Since I wanted to be sure before I published the case of a hoax. Come on, you could see that it was really dicey. So what they did is they proved that the photos weren't Photoshop. Okay, so we proved it could be done with miniatures. So, of course, the photos are going to come across legit, you know, with all the analysis, FBI, technical equipment they got back then that they used for NASA. So all that's going to come back, you know. None of the photos technical experts found any evidence of hoax in the films. In other words, the films are legit, but not the subject material, though. So yeah, so this is how they can represent things. I need a drink. Okay, I'll get one in a minute. Therefore, the personal opinion of Mr. Pasco, blah blah, who was never known and a UFO researcher in Mexico. Actually, he served as a translator. Blah 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 blah. According to Diaz, the aliens are living among us. Blah blah blah. It's just wrong when he claims Carlos Diaz has always refused to allow the video to be analysed. He gave me a copy a year ago, frame by frame. Okay, so he was sure that it was actually not Photoshop, obviously, or doctored somehow. He was hoping they wouldn't see it was a model, obviously. Okay, so I'll post a link. Have I done that one? No, I haven't done that one yet. I'll just post a link to that. You can read all that debate there if you want. Doesn't change the fact that it's still a hoax. But it's not done with double exposure and Photoshop. So that's good to know. So it's got to be done with models and miniatures. Same as Billy Meyer did. And cables and wires. Other Rene, what is it? Renace. Okay, that'll do. Got one more link, a couple of links here to look at. UFO picture by my non-UFO believer. What's this one? There's a photograph. Expert analysis of Carlos Diaz UFO pictures is extremely thorough. Mexican ufologist Jaime Maussan gave the original transparencies to Professor Victor. I wanted you to see that episode to see how bad his experts are. Where it was a clear, obvious fake that had been photoshopped, and the experts couldn't detect that. But you could see when Mark T. Antonio ran it through Windows 98, some basic video processing, you could see the blocks where it was like too much detail for the size pixel. But anyway, go and dig up that show and have a watch, you'll see what I mean. We were shocked to discover that the spectrum of light from the object was unlike anything we have ever seen. It broke all previous parameters and didn't match anything in our database. So if it's not in the database, though, it doesn't mean that it wasn't faked, you know. Who knows? He may have used, like I said, a gas lamp, using some other technique, like a welding torch or hydrogen even. Who knows? He may have made his own sort of gas light using some sort of system. I know you can actually create your own gas from mixing chemicals together. No evidence of superimposition or hoax. The object was around 30 to 50 meters. Oh yes, but we've looked at people that claimed 50 meters. Even Blake Cousins, Brent does that all the time. And you know it's a balloon or something, and you know it's not that big. Because we're only dealing with 2D images. It's not like he did a stereo one like Golf Breeze guy did. That would have been really good if he did. That would make it more conclusive. I don't think he did enough to prove that he wasn't hoaxing. And of course, there's a lot of chat here. So I don't know if you want to go through all that. I'll post a link to it. Debate, you know, typical UFO people. Some will be saying it's different hoax, and some will say, no, it's not. Debate. My opinion, it's a hoax. I just followed the evidence in that. When I first saw it, I thought it was Chinese lanterns a long time ago when I was a kid. So it hasn't changed. Now I've sort of become a bit more clued up on this stuff. And there's above top secret talking about it here too. Some claim it a hoax. Yep. Actually, the argument provided is extremely weak. It doesn't even have sources to back up the accusations. Okay, so they're debating each other here. Actually, this part and the quite true when you listen to Diaz's explanation. All evidence seems to point to it not being a hoax at this point. So this is back in 2008. Okay. What's that, 10 years after it was made or whatever? My personal belief is that a man had some pretty extraordinary experiences. I don't know. Aliens given tripod is a wee bit strange thing to say. Wouldn't they just say they made this camera hover so he could take a decent picture? I have to agree, of course, 2 lines claiming that he's a hoaxer don't make him a hoaxer. Yeah, but we looked at the tree and stuff. Carlos' case is certainly one of the most convincing. I wouldn't say it was convincing at all. It's amazing how some people think what solid proof is. I would say it's a hoax. The thing looks like an illuminated helium balloon. Exactly. Some of them may have been helium balloons and models. Like I said to you, it's possible that he had a fairly big helium balloon that he lit up and did it behind the tree. But then we looked at the evidence on the tree shape and it didn't match. So I think it's easier to do it with model and clip the tree to look really similar. What do we got here? Loaded the footage into the computer, started. Okay, is this one of them? Okay, so I've talked about if you're going to hoax something, you'd use one of these things. So you got no cable and it just hovers there, right? That's how you do it nowadays, right? But it would sort of wobble, make it really hard to debunk it. And you could illuminate it as well with LEDs now. I think hoax interesting, Docs, but too easily hoaxed. Yep. He's a good actor, like Bob Lazar. Oh no, you're not allowed to say that. That's another favourite of the ufologists out there. There'll be a lot of downvotes and unsubbing now. This one here just looks so fake. Was also analysed. Stated he could find no evidence of a fake. I don't know. What's all this here? So I don't understand the photograph. Almost looks like it's reflecting off water. We got 2 trees. Again, why is it always the trees on the edge? Why is the tree not smack in the middle, or this thing moving around, Again, this is not near any tree. And it looks like a reflection here, is it? So is that a reflection of the window of a bright? And you notice this one's on an angle, right, which would be typical if it was on fishing line, which you're not going to see. It'll be above the image probably too. And you have a line there for pulling it along and a line on the other side to pull it the other direction. Typical Billy Meyer, that is. And how come the black bits are now up the top and not down the bottom like it used to be? And why is it not illuminating any of the forest below? So again, it looks to me like a model, that one. Almost looks like it's filmed through a window there too, though. It's got that sort of smearing like you get on the window. Anyway, you can go and read all that if you want to. Me, I add my opinion that it's a hoax, and we'll leave it at that. And yeah, it's a good story, good fantasy about organic ships and all that, but reality is another thing. Above top secret, chat. So I always wanted to do this one a wee bit better, and this is the episode for it, I guess. Oh, I'm going to press the wrong button now. I think I've got all, haven't I? And we're ended up there for today. Can't keep doing these live shows, my time is running out. I need to do those chapters too still. I need to get on the other stuff, you know. I should have taken a picture of that last one, shouldn't I? Oh no, that one I'll probably do. Pretty boring thumbnails though. I suppose it will do. Okay, let's wind it down. Close. I didn't see any lagging. I think we've got the problems sorted out now. How's the audio? It sounded pretty good yesterday. I didn't notice any crackling or anything strange like we used to get. Fingers crossed. Okay, good night, Area 51. I forgot what your first name was now. And take care on the roads, especially in the ambulance here. And again, we thank you for your duty as an AMBO person. And they're great people, even in New Zealand. And they know what they're doing. And they'll probably end it early again. Because I don't want to hang around, mostly. Good night.